Okay, so here's the turbine sheet. Bam, ba-dam, bam. Complicated alert. So basically on this sheet you've got a turbine, which is pretty much most of this. You've also got a little counter here, which is a hatch counter that you can place across your floor tiles as a hatch. And then when it gets opened, you've got the open hatch part there. Goodbye hatch counter. And you've got a conduit as well. Okay, so we're not worried about the conduit, but what we are worried about is the turbine. So let's pop that out. This is a complicated one, and again you've got a couple of ways to assemble it. Adjustment, I can see this needs adjustments. Sometimes when you get these real long slots, you'll get one that's fine and one that's slightly thinner. It's the way the tool goes in, you get pressure on the tool and it causes the blade to move very slightly, and so you do get that. But again, all you've got to do here is grab your knife, and if you're unsure, you can use a ruler as well. Just grab your knife and just carefully run it down and just cut, because it's card, it's fantastic, and you just pop a little bit of that out. Job done. Look at that, straight away. And it'd be the same on that one there as well. Come on. So a couple of bits like that. And I think here, so you've got wide slot, fat slot, thin slot syndrome here. So I'm just going to widen this one up. And then on these you've got a similar thing. Fine, 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 thin, fine, thin, fine, thin, fat slot, fat slot, fat slot, fat slot. So you've just got a couple on here to adjust. Remember, these are already cut across the top, so it's only the widening that you're actually doing here. Bum, ba-dum, bum. So here we go. See if I can remember how to do this. Again, with this you've got two choices of how you want to assemble it. You can either assemble it kind of bruised and battered, or not, as the case may be. Same as here, you can have it nice and shiny, or you can have it bruised and battered. So we're going to put it together all nice and shiny. So first thing we want to do is kind of construct this centre part here. Okay, so fat slot, thin slot. Okay, so we're gonna stick this on here across this. You've got wide slot, thin slot on there, or standard sort of size slot. We're going to pop that on there. There you go, like that. And again, obviously if you can assemble it damaged, you'll be putting these around the other way. Across there. And it goes. And that's your strong base that the whole thing kind of sits together on. And so you've kind of got all these slots here, which these little bits fit into, and fan all the way round. Now, you can either try and stick them all in now, or you can stick them in after. When I do it, I tend to stick them in after, so that I can make sure that these bits sort of go in a little bit easier, as it were. But I think I've assembled it both ways before. So you take one of your, can't see what I'm doing here, you take one of your big bits, and these are not these are going to slot into these gaps just here. Okay, so you're going to put the first one in like so. Okay, and it's going to want to be sort of pulled back towards here, and then you want to put one of these on the front. Now you've got, although these are identical, one of these has got a little hole punched here like so. So this one with a hole wants to go at the back here with this long conduit bit. So we'll put that to one side and we'll grab this one, making sure we're, I mean you could just have a little bit of damage on one of them, but making sure we're putting it around the right way. Okay, and then this slots in at the front. I'm going to have to turn this a bit so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, line it up, that's it. Okay, and that slots in straight to the bottom. Same on the other side. Grab it here, pop it over the top, like so. And then this one with a little hole in it goes on top of here. Turn this round because I can't see, that's it. Lines up and slots in the top like so. Pop that down. That goes right to the floor. Did I do that onto the floor? Yeah. And you can see it's got a bit of a sort of curve to it. It's kind of going in like that. And if I tug it, it's got a nice grip which will hold on to all of these. Okay. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. I'm just going to start popping all these things in. And you got one at the top right in the middle. It slots in here. And then either side all the way around. So I'm going to start popping these in. Okay, and then once that's in, you can move them about, sort of get them into position, give them a bit of a twist where they've gone in wonky. Like so. Probably actually do this last of all after I put the other bits in. I've done it now, haven't I? There you go, a bit more uniform across the top. So all you got left to do now is pop these bits onto that side and that onto that side. So a bit like your other conduit, this needs to go at the back because this is just like a part of a mini conduit. It assembles exactly the same. And again, might need a little bit of adjustment on here. So this piece goes in here and it's sort of tricky. It lifts up and goes in, kind of slots. It's going to slot into these bits here. I'm going to have to do it on this side because I can't see what I'm doing. I'll get it lined up at least. Sit there. I think I'm lined up. Okay. Bend that in a bit. Okay, so I think that's lined up now, and I can just kind of slot this piece in. In hindsight, this is probably one of the bits you could have done just prior to slot in the main central bit on right at the beginning when you started. But yay, just show that it's gone in now as well. Okay, that's it. When that's all the way in, it will sit nicely in there like so, which means here you've got a couple of double cuts just like a normal conduit. Okay, so that slots in the top just like that, goes across, and that's where you see what this slot is for here. when you had a choice of which side to put it, and that just slots in there like so. Job done on that. Finally, all you've got to do now is put this piece on here, and again, just like the clone chamber, this is the bit where you could, after you've penned the colour on, you could literally just pop a little bit of glue on there to make sure that the whole thing goes together. So that goes on there like that, like so. Sits in, boom, and there it is. That is your straighten these bits up again. That is your turbine, solid. Or if you assemble it with the damaged parts, that's what it looks like. Complicated but stunning piece, and this is solid. And if you do the test on this, the squash test, I cannot squeeze this above. Well, I can squeeze it, but it ain't going anywhere. Jeff Capes maybe probably do a better job. So there you go, that's that. The only thing we've got left on the sheet now is the conduit, which we've showed you how to put together already. So that's it for that sheet. Job done.